Hello everyone. This will be our 5th video on how to integrate for sales directors multi-agent systems with AI to make their job easier.
Hello, I found the agent that analyzes meetings to be a blast. Very practical and with a direct impact. But now I'm curious about the one you mentioned about internal surveys. How does that fit into the system? Because here we talk a lot about external data, customers, market, but team surveys? What role do they really play in the overall strategy?
Good point. And that's exactly why this agent is so valuable. The internal surveys and continuous improvement agent is in charge of listening to what is often overlooked, the knowledge, perception, and experience of the people already inside your company. And believe me, that information is gold. It not only provides operational context, but also reveals human dynamics that directly affect productivity and organizational culture.
And what kind of surveys are we talking about? Work climate, internal satisfaction, engagement.
Also, but it goes far beyond the weather. This agent launches surveys adapted to key moments in the business, during a commercial campaign, after a critical or decision-making meeting, at the close of a technical or commercial project, or periodically to gather ideas for improvement. Operational blockages, perception of leadership, new products or services, innovation proposals, or even alerts about excessive workload.
In other words, it's like having a structured direct feedback channel, not just a suggestion box or a hallway chat.
Exactly. And the interesting thing is that the system designs the surveys in an automated way, adapting the tone and questions to the current context. It then analyzes the responses using advanced sentiment analysis, semantic classification, and natural language processing, NLP techniques, detecting patterns, correlations, and early warnings. For example, if several technicians agree that customer response times are unrealistic or that tools are not working well, the agent detects this and communicates it to the strategic coordinator.
I could have used it a few months ago when there was a talent drain and no one alerted us to the underlying problems. We found out when it was too late.
And that happens much more than you might think. Because many times the team does detect inefficiencies, bottlenecks, internal tensions, or even leadership conflicts, but no one systematizes or analyzes them. This agent converts that informal noise into structured data, prioritized and ready to be managed. And that totally changes the way of leading.
And how do you launch those surveys? Do I have to write them or does the HR team?
It is not necessary. The agent can generate them automatically according to the events that occur in the system. For example, if a drop in commercial efficiency is detected, it can launch a survey focused on understanding why. Or if the meeting agent identifies friction in communication, it can trigger an internal survey on collaboration, interdepartmental coordination, or motivation.
And how do you collect that information? Because it's one thing to ask and another for people to answer truthfully. Isn't there a fear of judgment or retaliation?
Good question. The agent guarantees anonymity if desired, which greatly enhances participation and honesty in responses. In addition, the data is not interpreted at the individual level, but analyzed for trends, collective patterns, and recurrence. The objective is not to seek culprits, but to identify root causes, points of improvement, and viable solutions.
So, this also serves to prevent problems, not only to react when it is too late, right?
Exactly. This agent has a proactive approach. It plays a key role in the continuous improvement system. It identifies proposals, blockages, or recurring ideas from the team, classifies them according to criteria such as urgency, impact, recurrence, or feasibility, and channels them to the strategic coordinator. Thus, they become decisions, process changes, redesigns, or even new automations.
Okay, but imagine that it detects that the sales team thinks that quotes are taking too long to be made or that the CRM is not well integrated. What does the system do with that information?
Excellent example. If this pattern is repeated frequently, the strategic coordinator can activate or adjust other agents, such as the proposal optimization agent or the data integration agent, to reduce processing times, simplify flows, or propose new tools. He can even launch an internal prototyping phase or activate review meetings with the areas involved.
So, it's like having an automated continuous improvement channel that listens to the entire team without the need for endless surveys or endless meetings.
Just like that, it's like having a shadow organizational coach, one that works 24/7, that transforms internal knowledge into actionable data, that reduces organizational attrition and helps you evolve without wasting time or energy. Moreover, being connected to the rest of the multi-agent ecosystem, it acts as a node of human sensitivity within a network of automated decisions.
I like that. Because if the system listens to the customer, the team, the market, and the finances, we have a true 360 degrees vision. We don't just react, we anticipate, prevent, improve, and evolve.
Exactly. And that's the difference between implementing a one-off AI for isolated tasks and building a strategic multi-agent system that learns and adjusts over time. And speaking of commercial vision, in the next video, we are going to introduce the Commercial Funnel Intelligence Agent, the one in charge of identifying new sales opportunities in the remaining market, analyzing commercial gaps, and feeding the pipeline with qualified leads that really make strategic sense.
Perfect. I find this agent very interesting. If I want to get in touch with someone to clarify a more specific question, who can I contact?
You can contact our expert Antonio Fresco Navacerrada via LinkedIn. He will guide you through the process and will be able to clarify any other doubts you may have. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to be more informed about how artificial intelligence can help improve sales managers' functions.